The response to my previous video on self-care was greater than I could have ever anticipated. Although the video itself sits at 6 comments, my post in the Dead by Daylight Facebook group received over 100 comments. Some of these were useful and came up with interesting counter-arguments, and some not so much. But it's pretty clear that I missed out a few of the nuances of the perk that might redeem it. Many of you pointed out that with Botany Knowledge your self-heal speed is increased by 33%, taking it from 32 seconds to 21.44 seconds, only 34% slower than having a teammate heal you. Recalculating our figures for time wasting and now only spending 26.8% of the time it takes to repair a gen solo healing and 35.73% of the time it takes to change hook phases healing. Much better numbers, but still slower than just having a teammate heal you. Plus, now you're wasting 2 perk slots to make 1 perk kind of okay. The main counter that people had was suggesting your teammates don't heal you. If we ignore the fact that at red ranks, if you don't cooperate and get your benevolence emblem up, you'll D rank, so realistically you wouldn't be at red ranks in the first place, and assume that no teammate will help you in a game, there's another dilemma. In what situation are you pulling off a chase where you're injured but still manage to escape? What I mean by this is, if you got injured in the first place, then you've been outrun by the killer. If this took a long time to do, then chances are they're already not going to leave you, and if this didn't take a long time, then you're probably also not going to escape. Getting injured and then successfully escaping a chase isn't something that will occur regularly, so taking a perk, or 2 perks that rely on this situation, still feels like a massive waste. Something else that people brought up that I didn't mention was how the Mangled status effect alters self-care's 32-second heal. Mangled can be applied by a variety of add-ons and the popular default killer perk Sloppy Butcher, and increases the time it takes to heal a player inflicted with it by 20%. For self-care, this raises the heal time from 32 seconds to 38.4 seconds. And here are our time wasting percentages once again. Also, what about Coulrophobia? This clown perk reduces healing speed by a whopping 50% when in the killer's terror radius. Sidebar, don't heal close to the killer, one of the killer's vital tools is sound. This is why Iron Will is such a great perk. Healing is loud, really loud. If you're healing too close to the killer, they're going to find you. So back to Coulrophobia. It isn't affected by any add-ons other than the Legion's iridescent button. That includes the Doctor's illusionary terror radius afflicting add-ons and the Hag's Grandma's Heart. I think the reason for this is that it's only triggered when emanating from the killer player entity, and so these other effects that aren't pure terror radiuses don't cause it. Self-care plus Coulrophobia makes for a 48-second heal time. Self-care plus Coulrophobia plus Sloppy Butcher makes for a 57.6-second heal time. That's 72% of the time it takes to complete a generator solo, and 96% of the time it takes to go from phase 1 to phase 2 on the hook. Holy crap, that's some ammunition for killers at low ranks. Ultimately, it's clear to me that many of you aren't yet ready to let self-care go, and would rather have an entire build based around it than feel confident relying on teammates. So, let's look at what other perks go well with self-care. We've already discussed Botany Knowledge, and I think that that's the one that's got to stay. Some people are insistent on the healing item efficiency bonus being worthwhile, so perhaps that was something else that I overlooked in my last video. Let's throw on an emergency medkit which tremendously increases self-healing speed, and attach an abdominal dressing and medical scissors, both of which further increase healing speed. As far as self-healing speed goes, this is our limit. We're left with 8 charges with 20% more efficiency. I'm not exactly sure how this correlates, but let's say that it's a boost to the usage of the charges, giving us in reality 9.6 charges with a tremendous plus considerable plus moderate increase to healing speed. You need 16 charges to heal a survivor, and as Reddit user Bully Boy has pointed out, increasing healing speed doesn't lower this charge requirement, it just increases the rate the charges are used. So we need to switch out that abdominal dressing for butterfly tape, giving us tremendous plus moderate plus slightly at 16 charges. Our time to heal is now 9.3 seconds. And we can do that exactly once, with 3.2 charges left over. Those 3.2 charges won't go far, and are the only benefit that self-care is giving you. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this one, guys. Perhaps it'd make more sense to stack on charges, and know that that medkit will last you a long time. The Ranger medkit has 32 charges. Adding gel dressings and gauze rolls totals 60 charges. With the self-care efficiency boost, that's equivalent to 72 charges, enough to heal 4.5 times using the medkit. That's pretty great, actually, but you aren't gaining a speed increase on self-healing, so there's no benefit at all to taking the medkit. Right, the only viable medkit self-care combination is one that boosts self-healing speed, and there's no point unless you get to do it more than once. So, Ranger medkit, gel dressings, and medical scissors for a moderate speed increase, 48 charges, with the self-care boost to an equivalent of 57.6 charges. That's 3.64 heals with a total heal time of... 14 seconds. Only 2 seconds less than having a teammate do it. My head hurts and we haven't figured out anything useful. Self-care sucks. Stop using it. Stop giving me a headache. If you want to take self-care, that's fine. You can do what you want. I'm not here to tell you how to play. But if your teammates are upset with you for doing so, that's on you.